It's Wrestling Uncensored time. Let's do it. We're going to talk SmackDown, new champions in the WWE, and Raw on Netflix. Keeping up. Shaping up. It's taking shape. The shape. It's a nice shape. The Raw on Netflix show. I like the shape of it. It's in good shape. Fine condition. Johnny, you are too. How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm not too bad. I'm feeling pretty decent. It's getting a little bit colder now here, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. A bit of snow, I think, is going to come just in time for Christmas. People like White Christmas. Pretty good. I believe this is our airing of grievance episode. It's not mistaken. That's what I saw on the graphic. Mistaken for the episode. Is that not airing of grievance? This is the Festivus episode, I guess. A little bit early. Is that the episode for tonight? I mean, I feel like I always air grievances, but I can definitely air a lot more grievances more than usual if we have to.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even realize that was the billing for the show, Johnny. Thanks for noticing.
My number one grievance right now is the fact that it's official. SmackDown, 3 hours, starting January 3rd. Boo! I hate it. I'm upset. I'm very upset. What are we going to do? I have no idea what we're going to do because we always start the show after SmackDown, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little bit after 10 p.m., whatever. But still, like, this is rough. This is going to be rough for us to stay up this late now, a little bit extra. And is SmackDown really going to be that good? I think it's going to suffer a little bit. 3 hours every week. You don't think it will
change time?
I don't know what we're doing exactly. I'm just worried about SmackDown. I worry about the quality of the SmackDown show. I feel SmackDown was great at 2 hours. I enjoyed SmackDown more because it was 2 hours compared to Raw being 3 hours. I know Raw's probably going back 3 hours. No,
but at least they're going to jam pack it with stars for a while. SmackDown's going to be the leftovers.
I mean, you are correct about that. This is going to be. We're getting in there. We're not there yet. We're getting to that like peak WWE season, right? Rumble build up into WrestleMania. That's the peak. After that, oh, it's going to be rough. We had a rough 2024 if you think about it. I mean, it's not completely over, but. I mean, WWE's kind of phoned it in now. We just have tape shows practically to the end of the year now.
Yeah. Raw Monday night was taped last Monday in Boston. Tonight's Raw was taped last week in Hartford. Or tonight's SmackDown. What did I say? Did I say Raw? SmackDown.
Yeah, Raw was taped last Monday, and SmackDown was taped last Friday.
Yeah. Pretty weak shows. Pretty weak show tonight. And yeah, John, I don't plan on. I mean, we haven't talked about this. It's probably off-air discussions, but I don't plan on changing the time of Wrestling Uncensored just because SmackDown changes their time.
I don't disagree with that.
I think we'll just we'll watch the first 2 hours not on the show, and then we'll watch the third hour with everybody. It'll be like a watch-along of the final hour of SmackDown as we discuss what we've already seen.
I agree with that. I think I'm very satisfied with that. Hopefully the fans are satisfied with that too, because I think that's a great idea.
You know, anything else is unfeasible. It's not really an idea. It's just I can't do it. Earlier is a little tough on a Friday, and later is just not happening. So 10 o'clock it is, John.
Sounds good.
This is a good time for me.
There will be no more Rampage, too. I believe Rampage next week, that'll be the last episode ever of Rampage. So there's only really one show to watch. Not that I think we kind of stopped the watch-alongs for Rampage anyways, pretty much this year. So
I haven't seen Rampage. I didn't even know Rampage was still on.
Well, because of the Continental Classic, I have to watch every so often, I find. And we'll get to it later, but Collision is actually worth watching this week. We'll get to that later. I think we'll talk about WWE first, because a lot's going on in WWE.
Yeah,
a lot happened.
But man, freaking good match in AEW this week, dude.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Don't worry.
Yeah. But Darby, Ospreay, super good. That's good wrestling.
I don't disagree. Definitely match of the week and all that. But I think a strong candidate. I highly enjoyed Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes. To me, that's what we need almost. Like, I love the format of Saturday night's main event. It felt like it was just a wrestling show. And it's like, wow, WWE is like putting over wrestling. This is so rare. And I wish we had this every week. And that was perfect kind of match too. Like 10 minutes, not too long. Didn't drag. Had enough action in there. Left you wanting more too. That was a perfect main event.
Yeah, it was kind of basic.
Again, like left you wanting more. Because they're going to do more, right? Obviously.
Kevin Owens had Cody beat, but the referee was down. Couldn't count to 3. Kevin Owens had him down. And then Cody uses the chair to hit the crossroads on the chair that Kevin Owens did bring into the ring. However, the referee didn't see that, and that's how Cody beats Kevin Owens. So some controversy in the match, controversy in the finish, and I'm sure we'll see them wrestle again. Kevin Owens attacking Cody Rhodes after. It seemed to me like the most compelling part of the whole show happened after the show, where Kevin beat down Cody and hit him with a package pile driver, stole the championship, the Winged Eagle belt that Cody's now holding as the WWE title. I don't know if that was just for Saturday night's main event or he's just going to carry that going forward. But Kevin stole that. That was cool.
Oh, you weren't aware of where the story's going. I mean, I think Kevin kind of explained it on SmackDown a little bit, where like he's not the undisputed WWE champion. Like Cody still has that gold title, still has that. But Kevin's keeping the Winged Eagle title. And he will be defending that title, apparently, going forward until Cody comes back. And he's going to be defending it on house shows, apparently, this week.
What?
Or next week, sorry. I think it's next week he's defending the title.
He said this on SmackDown tonight?
Well, he said a little bit on SmackDown, but then I think he said a little bit prior to that. Remember they had some sort of thing for Netflix? Some sort of event promo thing they did?
Yeah.
Kevin said a lot on that one. And I'm sure we're going to get into that because Kevin said some comments about Punk and all that. I'm sure we're going to talk about.
I didn't even see that. Was that on TV?
I think it was on YouTube at least. I don't know if it was on TV. But I'm sure they'll talk about it on Raw and all that too. But Kevin is going to defend the title. And I think that's it. He's going to have that title going forward until Cody comes back and tries to take it back from him.
Okay. So Cody's actually taking time off?
Well, Cody apparently is making appearances with a neck brace now. I think that's probably the thing going forward is that he's hurt. He can't wrestle yet. They're probably going to wrestle at the Rumble, I imagine. But this is going to drag until that point in time, I think.
That's it. This is going to drag till the Rumble.
Hopefully Randy comes back. I think we need Randy to come back. That would really help the story, I think.
And do what? How does he fit in?
You can have a match or two with Kevin. That'd be good. And then Cody. Yeah, and then Cody comes back. I mean, we got some time until the Rumble, right? February 1st.
Why give Cody all this time off all of a sudden?
I mean, to sell it. I mean, look at Randy. How long has Randy been out for? It was like at least over a month.
Yeah, Randy takes vacations, though. You know Randy. He's always done that.
Let's be fair here, and this is what Kevin should do going forward. Package pile driver, far better than a regular pile driver. Sorry, far better. So yeah, I think Cody should sell this more than Randy is actually.
Had he ever hit that before in WWE, Kevin?
The package? No, remember he kind of teased it where he did this whole thing where he did the package and tossed them to the side. They landed on their back.
This is the first time that Kevin Owens ever hit the package pile driver in WWE on Cody. Off air.
Yeah. And I get it. Off air made sense too, though, because if you're watching the show, you want the happy ending, right? Cody won, happy ending. Mm-hmm. And the thing afterwards, that's story for going forward. So it all made sense.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But so I think it's, I mean, forget whatever, off air, but the fact that he hit it for the first time ever in his WWE career, he's been in WWE for so long. He's never hit that move. And that was his, like, finishing move, right? As Kevin Steen.
But they're saying it's a banned move. This is a bit of a problem with the story that they kind of need to explain better. He's hit a banned move twice now. And he's just allowed to do whatever he wants. And now he's threatening Nick Aldis and WWE management. And no repercussions whatsoever. No suspension, no fine. Like, that's a little bit lacking in the story, I find.
Kevin Owens is unhinged. He can do whatever he wants. Triple H got mad at Kevin Owens after that thing started pushing him. That was interesting.
Yes and no. Like, I don't know about you. I'm not big on the whole, people are talking about, oh, Triple H is going to wrestle Kevin. We don't need to see that. Doesn't need to happen whatsoever. Triple H doesn't need to come back and have a match.
But, I mean, didn't you kind of feel like, ooh, maybe this is where it's going?
Oh, I really don't want to see it go that direction whatsoever.
I'm not saying what you want, John. I'm saying when you saw them do that, didn't you kind of think, well, Kevin's not working Cody or anybody at main. Triple H would be kind of a big one.
I mean, Sami Zayn makes the most sense, I think, for WrestleMania. I mean, Triple H, that's a special kind of thing that could happen. I'm not looking forward to that match, but I get it. The hype, people want to see that. Do you really want Triple H to put his health in line for that, though? I don't know if you really need to do that, though.
No, but if, who knows? He's a superhuman guy. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't think he can wrestle. From what I understand, he'll never wrestle again, but, people say that and then they do. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think Flair also has like a pacemaker too, and Flair gets involved in a lot of things. And Flair had a final match too, so yeah. But I mean, again, I think a lot of people saw that and realized maybe he shouldn't have done that. So maybe Triple H shouldn't do that. And I think there's better things for Kevin to do. It's fun for Triple H to get involved, and yeah, he can get involved. That's fine. Do a little thing. Maybe he can do a pedigree. That's fine. But match, we don't need to see that.
I agree. I don't think it's necessary, but I also think it would be a big spot for Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. It'd be a big match for him to have. He did Stone Cold's comeback match. Comeback match for Triple H would be a big deal. It'd be a big match on the card. And the match you're proposing, Sami Zayn, like, I get it. I get the story. Sami going back with the bloodline after everything, It makes sense for Kevin to eventually circle back to him and want revenge, but I don't feel like that story and that match, given the players that we already know are going to be involved in WrestleMania, I feel like that one will be kind of left in the background. It won't be one of the big ones, considering we have CM Punk and The Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and all these big players involved in WrestleMania. Sami and Kevin feuding over Roman, while Roman's off doing something else and not even concerned with what they're doing. It's going to be one of the lower tier matches on the card. I feel like it's a lesser spot for Kevin. Probably a better match. But like, if he could wrestle, Triple H would be a bigger spot. I think even though your hatred for Triple H shines through, John, I think you would agree, right? It's a bigger spot. Like, it would get more shine, it would get more attention.
Well, it's also something people weren't expecting, right? And people kind of like that. I like that too. It's just, I'm not a big fan of Triple H. I don't think that match would be anything special. I'm thinking Kevin versus Sami, that'd be a fantastic match, no matter what you get. Then you add a stipulation to it. That'd be incredible. Plus, now they're possibly teasing, I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but KO and CM Punk, probably not going to happen, but they're definitely teasing something. Kevin's doing something there. I want to get into that. But I feel like that's just to play with the internet, though, is that kind of stuff. But it's out there.
What do you want to get into? Specific?
Oh, this is going back to Saturday night's main event. CM Punk apparently did like some sort of interview that wasn't on the broadcast, but I guess maybe they did sort of pre-show or something, I think.
Yeah.
And there was like one of the WWE guys there, Rosenberg, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You've met him before or something, or talked to him or something.
He's been on the show.
Yeah. So he said something about moveset, and Punk got mad about that, saying only idiots say moveset. And then Kevin, during that whole Raw Netflix like promo thing that they were doing, saying that he has a great moveset. He said it twice too. Made sure that had to get caught on camera.
Yeah, he said it twice. I have the best moveset. I have the best moveset. Yeah, that was a direct response because Hangman said, at least if you're gonna steal my moveset, give it to somebody cool, because they seem to have taught Logan Paul all of Hangman's moves, and Logan Paul seems to be doing them. And then CM Punk responded in that interview saying, if you say moveset, you're an idiot. All right, buddy. And then Kevin Owens is like, haha, moveset. Interesting, subtle jabs going around. Punk just can't let Hangman go. He hates Hangman. He really doesn't like him. Hangman says something and Punk is like, he can't wait to jump in and respond in some way.
Well, let's remember when he was in AEW and like it was off air, like him and FTR were in the ring and he just started making fun about Hangman's toy or something. How like it's hard to find that toy or something, right? And it's like, what the heck was that? Like wasn't necessary, but he threw a shot anyways. It wasn't going anywhere. But he felt like doing it, and Punk clearly holds a grudge against a lot of people, and I guess that Hangman thing will never die, sadly.
Let's not forget, too, Punk went in the ring at one point, cutting a promo, and, like, challenged Hangman. After he won the title, he's like, Hangman, come, rematch now. And then Hangman didn't come out because Hangman wasn't there or wasn't even supposed to be, Punk just shot on Hangman to make Hangman look stupid. And it worked, because it was like, what the hell? Where's Hangman?
And then Hangman shot back at him, doing, like, a Dark Order thing, BTE thing, whatever, saying like he was busy or whatever, like because someone called him to the ring, right? And then he's just like, I'm busy right now. Like it wasn't important.
Right.
Never-ending feud. Never-ending feud.
Yeah, it's funny.
At least we got the match. We saw the match at least, so we don't really need to see it again.
And it went all right, you know?
The greatest wasn't the worst. It was fine.
Yeah. Didn't seem like anything was seriously wrong between those two in the match. But Kevin and Punk would be interesting. I wonder if they'll go there. Seth Rollins is going to wrestle CM Punk Raw January 6th. They are overloading that show. I'm not mad at it. Seth versus Punk. Roman versus Solo. I think Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the belt, too. All sorts of matches. Big matches. Like, this is, like, almost WrestleMania level main events being given away on a Monday Night Raw. Punk and Seth, people were talking about for Mania, just happening on Raw. And Solo for the Tribal Chief once and for all. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. Maybe not Mania, but for sure a Rumble, you know? It's a big match. I'm a little surprised that they're doing that much, giving you that many big matches. I wonder how many matches will actually have a clean finish. I doubt the Punk-Seth match will be the last one between those two. But I'm very excited to see Raw January 6th on Netflix. Hope Netflix can handle the traffic, and it's not like the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. There was a lot of buffering, not a lot of boxing. But that's going to be a good Raw, John. It's going to be good.
There's a bit of changes going on, right? Yeah. So all of WWE programming in Canada, that's going to be on Netflix. All of it. And apparently AEW Collision is going on a channel that's going to be called the USA Network. But it's not the actual USA Network. That's going on the USA Network in Canada. Collision, apparently.
USA Network Canada.
Yes.
Okay. And that's where Collision is going. It's going to go on a TV channel.
You'll actually be able to see it on television. You'll probably get it because I think you have Bell. No, I guess? Television?
I don't have Bell TV.
Well, you may not get it, though. I don't know if Videotron will get it then.
That channel?
Yeah, look into that. Maybe you do. Maybe you would.
Well, I'll figure it out. I have access. I'll find ways. But Collision would be good to have. Easy on TV, you know? AEW needs that. They need that. But what do you think, man? Punk, Seth, it's going down. They had a promo on Raw this week. This is a big match. This is good stuff. I thought the promo was good. They had a brawl there, pull apart thing. Good stuff to start Raw. I'm excited about the match.
I enjoyed the promo, the first little bit when they talked. The brawling, I didn't think the brawling was that good, to be honest. I thought the brawling was kind of lacking, actually. I didn't feel the excitement there for that. I felt once they started fighting, actually, it felt like it's not really. It didn't look that good, to be honest. The fighting, whatever they did, actually, I was impressed. The war of words was far more impressive than fisticuffs.
Was pretty good.
I like when Punk made fun of his dance and all that. That was good.
Yeah,
he had some good moments there.
Made fun of the laugh. Yep. It was good. I talked about how Seth, wears Liberace's clothes and Elton John's sunglasses, but just because you put on Elton John's glasses doesn't make you Elton John, and just because you put on a pair of wrestling boots doesn't make you CM Punk. CM Punk is just a fan. Seth Rollins is just a fan of CM Punk and just a wannabe, basically a cosplay wrestler. It was a pretty good insult there from CM Punk. He went hard at Seth Rollins. But then Seth telling Punk, yeah, well, this fan has got more WrestleMania main events than you'll ever have. It was like, ooh, that's probably true. Punk may get one this year, but that'll be it.
Yeah, I think Seth has at least 2, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, does the Brock one count with Roman, the triple threat?
When he did, that's what I would think. Right? I'm counting that, right?
Yeah, that's one.
And I'm counting the tag match last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
he worked The Rock at Mania.
Right. And some might count the Brock match, but to me, okay, it was a title match, whatever, but it was the first match on the show. Like, that's not the main event. You can call it whatever you want. Oh, it was a main event match. It was the first match on the show. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
So he's got 2.
Punk may get one this year. Apparently everybody's trying to get a main event. If Punk does main event WrestleMania, like closes the show, it's against who? Roman Reigns?
See, I was going to ask you this. Like, apparently he's pushing for that match, and that makes sense because he has a favor, right, for Heyman. But how is that the main event, though? Think about it, too. Like, you're going to have Cody and The Rock and potentially a women's match as well, and then maybe even Cena and Gunther for the world title. And you're going to put Punk and Roman for just the fact that it's a match ahead of those? I mean, that gets to be the main event? I question that. I mean, it's a big match. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, WrestleMania, but main event? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure either, John. I don't know how they get there. You know, WrestleMania right now, again, like, I feel like I keep saying this, but it's very hazy. It's not clear what they're doing. They got a lot of moving parts, a lot of different big name talent, and they have to do stuff with all of them, and they have 2 nights, and it's like, well, what are they going to do? And then what's the availability for The Rock? What's Rock really going to do? How involved is Cena going to be? It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of questions for this year's Mania. And then you got, you know, Roman, Cody, Solo, Punk, Seth, all guys that need something to do. Kevin Owens, they all need, you know, a spot on the show.
Right.
I don't know how it's all going to shake out. I'm interested in seeing what they do, you know? Like, it'll be fun to see. Once January kicks off and we see that Raw on Netflix, we're going to have a better idea. I think The Rock will probably be on that show, too.
Well, think about this, too. I mean, you're going to have at least 5 women's matches, right? So that takes up a good chunk of both nights. And then you're going to have at least, 4 mid-card men's title matches? I mean, hopefully 1 or 2 of those have to get dropped. Just either the U.S. title's not defended or one of the tag titles not defended, because there's way too many championships. Something has to be dropped because it's just way too much.
Some things could be defended on SmackDown Mania or Raw after Mania too, right?
Have to. Mm-hmm. It just goes to show you, like, I mean, yeah, they're going to do Raw and SmackDown in 3 hours. I mean, they have enough people to do it. I wonder how good it's going to be doing that, but they can do it.
We have some new champions in the WWE. Chelsea Green won the United States Championship, defeating Michin on Saturday night's main event, and Chelsea is now the first ever WWE Women's United States Champion. And you know what's great about that is that the first ever WWE Women's United States Champion is Canadian. Score 1 for the good guys. We did it again. Boom. Congratulations, Chelsea. From British Columbia.
I mean, yeah, congrats. I mean, I thought...
That's not funny, John? That's not funny to you that the first U.S. champion is actually Canadian? I think that's hilarious. They didn't take it American. They went with Canadian Chelsea Green. I mean, I think she deserves it. She's great. I find her very entertaining. But anyways, I thought it was...
The first ever Intercontinental Men's Champion was Canadian.
Yeah, but that's Intercontinental. So. I'm talking about... This is a U.S., you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's called United States. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, it's kind of cool. Sorry. It's a nice little fact, you know, but the problem is, like, I don't get excited for this championship because to me it's just a charity championship, participation award practically. There's nothing really great about it. It's nice that she got it because, yeah, she's not going to get the world titles, but they gave her something. That's good. I mean, they already made her tag champions. Like, she never got anything, but that was good. And at least she was the only heel that actually cheated to win. Kind of, a little bit, sort of. Mm-hmm. Because you had Piper, made it a little bit of a distraction, so it was a little bit of a cheat. I appreciate that, because I felt too many heels on the show just didn't cheat at all. They just won. And I thought, it's like, well, that's kind of crummy if you're a heel. You notice that Drew just wins. Liv just wins. There's no, little controversy or something, or using the ropes, or cheap shot. No, just win.
Why not?
Lazy.
Once in a while, you can just win. I thought Drew beating Sammy made sense. Beat him. Just beat him.
I mean, we kind of expect that to happen too. I thought the match was very good. I'm not a fan of the whole, doing a 10 count in the first match, but that's me. I think a lot of people like that too, but whatever. I mean, it's a different mentality, I think, with that. They just want to put on the best match possible, and they felt that was a good idea to do that. Not led to the finish too, though. It was fine because I think time as well was a factor in that match. Or just all the matches, because none of them are really that long overall.
No. I mean, Drew is doing something interesting. Is Drew really a heel at this point? He's kind of trying to align himself with Seth Rollins, saying, you know, we both hate the bloodline, and he's on SmackDown this week kind of facing off with Solo and saying, you know, you cost me the championship, and I'm not going to forget, and I don't like you, but you did stand up to Roman, so I don't know. But Drew, you know, he is holding a grudge against Roman and the old crew, and he's attacking Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso and Sammy Uso and all the Usos, and I think he's going to make his way back to Roman at some point because he seems to be going up against those guys still wanting revenge for what happened at Clash at the Castle. He talked about that tonight, that Solo was the one, and he cost him the title. He wants revenge. So Drew is like, I don't know, kind of in between. Jimmy Uso attacked him with a crutch on SmackDown tonight. Drew's in an interesting spot, too. They're doing something with him. Him and Kevin Owens should align. I feel like him and Kevin Owens are fighting the same fight.
You would think that would happen, but unfortunately, because Kevin did this little skit during that whole Netflix promo thing they did, is that he put his picture over Cody's picture on a wall there at the headquarters, and then like Drew stole it, and then Kevin's like, oh, I guess I should start hitting Claymores in my matches now, kind of taking a shot at Drew about that, because Drew was just stealing what he did, just to put the picture of him as the world champion.
Oh, I see.
On Raw. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, it feels like Drew's making enemies with everyone. Because he also, if you notice on Raw, he went after Seth, too. He was, unless, like, I think it was Sammy that stopped it, right? Like, Seth was being interviewed, and Drew was coming right at him in that promo. You saw him, but Sammy cut him off. Sammy saved Seth.
Yeah. I mean, Drew, because Seth didn't want to side with Drew, so Drew was like, all right, revenge. You're either with me or against me type of thing. But he's another guy that's going to have a spot for WrestleMania. So Chelsea Green is the new U.S. champion. And taking a look at the Women's Intercontinental Championship, they have a tournament going for that, too. And you could tell that that's also kind of like a mid-level jabroni title. It's almost, like you said, it's a participation trophy. It's the belt that they're going to give to people that they won't give the main belt to. It's people that will never be the top champions. This is kind of a prize for them to fight over, and I don't know how much attention is going to be paid to it. I don't know how active the division's really going to be. I hope active, but I don't know. I kind of doubt it. But we have Dakota Kai and Zoe Stark set to wrestle in one semifinal, and in the other, it's Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria. For some reason, I feel like Lyra Valkyria will find a way to win that match, and she'll wrestle like Zoe Stark in the final, and Zoe Stark will be champion. It's going to be something like that, John. This is where they're going with this. It's going to be tough to carry.
Well, looking how they did the U.S. title, like they had bigger stars, but the bigger stars lost, right? So it's the ones you wouldn't expect that are pretty much going to make it. And you also kind of gave a spoiler, though, as well, because Io Sky hasn't been shown on television yet that she's advancing. That's going to happen on Raw. You've given it away already.
Sorry, I was just looking at the brackets on Wikipedia. I didn't know, John.
It's all right. No one will be too mad. I'm sure there's some Natty fans that were hoping, but now they're all destroyed.
Oh, what about Albert Fire fan? You don't think Albert Fire has any fans? She's also in the match.
Maybe. If Wally likes her, maybe. I don't know. Possibly.
She is Irish. Shout out to Wally. I hope he's doing well. Jason Pete in the chat. He says, serious question. Does WWE depend too much on 50 to attitude era wrestlers to give value, 50-year-old attitude era wrestlers to give value to WrestleMania or other major events, and why? Well, they're very popular. They make a lot of money. Everybody knows who they are. Is it too much? I don't know. I think The Rock is still valuable and can help.
Yep.
I think it all depends on if they can do it. I mean, I don't mind seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't mind seeing The Rock. And those are really the only guys that they're using these days.
Well,
I mean, Austin they're not even using. It's just The Rock who shows up, from time to time.
We are going to see Goldberg again at some point. Probably not for WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is kind of stacked, but we will see Goldberg wrestle again. It's going to happen.
I don't know about that. You might be right, but I hope you're wrong. Cena, he's on a retirement tour. Cena is doing his last year. 2025 is going to be his last full year wrestling, and then he's going to be done. He's saying this is his last Mania. They're advertising Elimination Chamber, his last time in Toronto. Like, this is it for Cena. The Rock, who knows how many more of these he's got left, but if he shows up once a year for 1 to 2 matches, I think he can do it for a few more years and be entertaining. The Final Boss last year was the best thing in wrestling. Stone Cold, I mean, he doesn't show up much. It'd be great to see him. I like him. I'd like to see Hogan more. But that's me.
Well, Hogan, there's not much he can do at this point besides just come out. So, did he not show up at the UFC? I think he did he not? He made the entrance there. I think he had a walking stick, if I'm not mistaken, or used the American flag as a walking stick. But, he made an appearance. He came out. with his music and all that. That was cool. And that's what he's good for at this point. Making appearances, giving a nice little speech, saying Trumpomania now at this point. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, I forgot about all that stuff. I was just thinking about the Hulkster, Forgot about all the other stuff that he's doing these days. He's busy. And the War Raiders beat Finn and JD of the Judgment Day. The War Raiders, formerly the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, new Raw Tag Team Champion. How about it? Match was all right. Decent main event. I'm happy to see those guys win the belts. They seem genuinely happy to win them. Good for them. Good move. You got to elevate tag teams like the War Raiders. They're a solid tag team. They're a real tag team. They're not singles wrestlers that were put together as a tag team. They came in as a tag team. They were the New Japan Tag Team Champions. They've been around as a tag team. They're one of the best tag teams in the world. Let me say tag team a few more times. Tag team. They're good. Tag team champion. I'm happy for them. I thought the match was really solid with JD and Finn. These guys are good, man. Solid wrestlers.
I feel like we saw them debut in Montreal, did they not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's kind of all coming together for them. I mean, they battled through so many injuries over the last couple of years, it feels like. And if I'm mistaken, I think it's Eric. Like, his was like career-threatening injury. Like, he wasn't sure if he was going to come back or not.
Mm-hmm.
And Ivar, you saw he had a bit of a singles run, then he got hurt as well. So for them both to come back and, again, to become tag champions might not be the greatest thing in the world right now, because with having two sets tag titles, that kind of lowers the value of the tag title, sadly. But I think it's great for them to come back and still be a force on Raw. I feel this is for them to transition it to New Day, because I think they realize New Day is going to be the new big thing on Raw. They're building that up, but they had to get the titles off of Judgment Day for that to happen.
New Day is going to be cool on Raw. I like Kofi and Woods and their new attitude.
I like it, but I feel like they're kind of really cooling them off a little bit by having them not do too much. Like them trying to talk, but then they're all allowed to talk, and then they kind of complain a little bit, but they don't really do anything. I feel like they need to get more involved. They're going to, I think, and it's going to happen now that the Raiders are the tag champs, I think.
I wonder, though, how they stay mean.
I've checked the Raw spoilers, too. So they have a way. They're going to do it on Monday. It's a good thing that they're doing. I mean, it's an evil thing they're doing, but it's pretty good.
All right. Well, I need them to stay evil. I need them to stay mean, because they're so entertaining that if they just cut promos on people, the fans will turn them babyface. Because they don't have strong enough baby faces to oppose them, where the fans will stick with the baby faces. Because the New Day is known, and their heel turn was one night. It's fresh, and if they start talking trash and people like it, they're going to turn babyface quick.
I'm not worried. I think they know what they're doing here with this. We're going to see on Raw this week.
Good.
Not too worried.
Good. Harold Schneider dropping the super chat. Thank you, Harold. He says, I would like it if you could start at 9:30 on Fridays if you're going on while SmackDown is still on. It could happen. 9:30, 9:45. We might be on before 10. I mean, if we're going on while SmackDown is on, right? We don't have to go on at 10. We could go on before. You know what I'm saying?
We can take it into consideration. Possibility.
We'll take it into consideration, Harold. How about that? It's duly noted, and we'll think about it. Johnny and I will have discussions. This is all a work in progress. That's life. You adapt, you evolve, you improve. Life, like martial arts, is always evolving, always giving you new challenges. That's why I love martial arts. It's a great metaphor for life and everything in it. Oh, here we go. Philosophy time. Johnny, martial arts philosophy. This is late night nonsense with Dave. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis. What's up, Angelo? He says, I'm happy to not see JD McDonuts and Balor as champs anymore. I like that Angelo has adopted my name for JD McDonut. I think that's great. I like to be a positive influence in the wrestling community by, influencing the names that people give the wrestlers. JD McDonuts and Finn Balor. Oh, Finn Balor.
The names are good, but I find Finn's actually very entertaining. It's kind of a shame that he lost the tag titles, but they weren't really doing anything with them anyways, so it's fine for them to drop them, because you kind of see it has to go to New Day, so this makes a lot of sense. But I find Finn very fun to watch, and I hope he gets a good WrestleMania match because I think he deserves one.
Yes, might be against Damian Priest.
Sadly, but yeah.
Or Dominic.
You know what? They might do it like Damian teaming with like the LWO or something. I can see something like that going down.
Yeah. But I think Finn and JD losing the tag belts is going to cause some friction in the Judgment Day, because Finn's kind of been calling the shots, but now that Liv is the only champion, I think they're going to be calling the shots more and maybe talking down to Finn and JD. I think there's going to be some, there's a divide in that group. You see it's Finn and JD and kind of Carlito there, and then you have Raquel and Liv and Dominic on their side, and it's, there's friction. You see it.
I actually like that in the group. That's true heels, in my opinion. Like, they shouldn't all get along and be all, like, worried about each other. That was what kind of turned Rhea kind of face, was she was always concerned and all this. And, like, you kind of felt bad for her at times because she actually had a heart. And it's like, they should all be jerks and be jerks to each other. That makes sense. I actually like the way Judgment Day is now.
Although Carlito, being subtly kind of low-key in love with Raquel Rodriguez and Raquel wanting nothing to do with him is kind of turning Carlito babyface, I think. Like, that is pretty funny because it's not really part of what's going on. It just kind of, he says a line and Raquel gives him a look just kind of at the end of a promo, and you're like, what was that? I think that's good. They're doing good stuff there. Carlito's great.
That's Carlito's thing right now, is he'll just say little lines here and there. I think that's the main point of him right now. Like, and if it gets over, I think that's good because they aren't really pushing him, so that's giving him something.
The thing with Carlito, John, it's good to have him on TV because he's cool. Yeah.
He's got charisma. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that Ric Flair promo destroyed him many years ago, but...
You mean the infamous Guys Like You promo, John?
Yes, taking my spot.
Have we talked about this promo? How many times have we brought this promo up? This is one of the best promos of all time.
That promo probably comes up just as much as Fragile Body, Fragile Mind. It's one of those things that are just, like, classic, I think, in history.
And you're leaving? World champions wrestling in the main event, and you're leaving? Sometimes I walk around, and I don't know who I am. And the whole world knows who I am. Except me sometimes. And you're leaving? Fucking tremendous. I could quote that promo. It's the best.
I feel like he
called around with girls like her, and you don't deserve it. You haven't earned it. Guys like you. I'm talking about guys like you. Blair, man. No, come on. What a promo that guy was.
He's cutting good promos again, apparently. He's upset about something. Someone owes him money or something. Isn't the guy for ROH or something owes him money? Not Tony Khan, but like the old guy for ROH apparently owes him money. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah? Guys like you, Silken, owe me money.
And to be fair, I don't know about you. Like, to me, the best promo I saw this year was Ric Flair at that pizza place. Like, that was the greatest thing I saw this year. That was amazing.
Drunk Flair at the pizza place?
Like,
promo
when he
of the
says,
year, like, legit promo of the year is tough, John. I don't know.
That's coming up, by the way. This isn't the whole year in review because the year isn't over yet, at least. Like, AEW hasn't finished yet. So, and I guess technically WWE's not done. Even though they phoned it in, it's not done yet.
SmackDown in Tampa next week is live.
There you go. Yeah. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not expecting much because of that whole Netflix thing, right? So they're saving everything for that.
Yeah, but still, Raw, Monday, taped in Boston. Okay, whatever. 23rd, Festivus. 27th, though, a week from tonight, we are back to live programming. SmackDown in Tampa is live. The following Monday, the 30th of January, Raw in Houston, live. Following week, Raw, SmackDown in Phoenix, live. That's January 3rd. And then January 6th, that's the live Raw on Netflix. So WWE is really gearing up. Like, MMA has kind of taken a break for whatever, Christmas and everything, but WWE does not. No breaks for the holiday. Little breaks here and there, but nothing really.
So we have one more SmackDown of 2 hours.
Next week. Next week. freak out. You want to talk about AEW, John? There's nothing really that happened on SmackDown. Like, I don't want to talk about Johnny Gargano beating Alex Shelley, because who gives a shit?
It wasn't very exciting.
No.
I won't deny that whatsoever. And neither was the whole thing with Strowman and Hayes. That just dry. That 6-man tag, man, would that ever end? It felt so long.
Solo, Fatu, and Tama Tonga beat LA Knight, Andrade, and Apollo Crews. What a team LA Knight came up with. Andrade and Apollo Crews. Of course, Apollo took the fall after taking Solo's finisher, and Shinsuke Nakamura attacked LA Knight outside the ring, and the ref didn't see it.
We should at least talk about the main event of SmackDown, because there was a bit of a mess there that happened there. I don't know if you caught it. Nia got busted open, like wide open there. Do you know how she got busted open, John? I'm going to blame Naoma. I think she did the problem there.
Nope.
Okay.
So I went back to find out, okay?
What happened?
She did it herself. She sucks at wrestling. She busted herself open on the ring post.
Didn't Naoma like slam her head in though?
No.
Or she just slammed her own head?
She slammed her own head into the ring post. Like an idiot, and came up bleeding. Because I was like, "Oh, she's bleeding." I noticed she was bleeding like towards the end of the match. I was like, "Damn, when did that happen?" So I was like, "Let's find out." So I rewound, and then I was like, "Ooh." I was like, "When does the referee put his black gloves on?" And I see him, no black gloves, no back. Oh, there they go. Okay, here we go. And then, yeah, she busted herself on the ring post. She went, boom, and hit too hard. And came up bleeding, like big gash on her head.
Yes.
It's so dumb. Yes, John, I did catch it. And I noticed exactly how it happened, and I thought it was hilarious. Because, no, don't blame Naomi. It wasn't an errant strike. It wasn't a kick from Bianca. It wasn't a knee. It wasn't an elbow. It was Nia bashing her head way too hard into the ring post for some odd reason. And coming up bloody and probably halfway concussed. It's like, what is
the match
she
went
doing?
off the rails. The match went completely off the rails after that. I don't know if you caught that.
No
too,
shit.
but...
She's concussed. I mean, if you hit yourself so hard on a piece of plastic, steel, whatever the fuck it's made of, right? What is that thing? That big, like, what's that made of? It's heavy. It's solid,
right?
You know? It's like got a screen in it. It's, you know, and they hit themselves. I don't know what it's. A solid piece of whatever. Say steel. She bashed herself. It doesn't matter. It's a hard thing that she hit herself. She smashed her head so hard into this hard thing that she busted herself wide open in her head. That's a concussion. I mean, I don't know what else you would call it. Minor concussion, you know, low-grade concussion. Maybe if you want to diagnose it that way, WWE. But I'm pretty sure Nia Jax concussed herself in that match. So, I mean, of course it went off the rails, John, right? If you hit yourself so hard that you bleed that much, too. I mean, it was bam, one impact. Like bashing your head into a wall. Coming up bloody. You don't think you're going to be foggy after that?
Well, not to toot my own horn, but that's actually happened to me before. I got slingshot into like a ring post. Like I overshot the pads and bam, right into the post and Crimson Mask.
Yeah.
Like almost right away. And like, yeah, you're a little dizzy at first. I was in a singles match, by the way, when that happened. So, but kept everything together. Obviously, you talk to people and all that, but it depends on the situation too. For other people, it's different too. I don't know. For me, it was the adrenaline kind of went super high after that. Maybe with her, it was kind of like a shock, and like, you know, like you tag out and then you're kind of like, you don't know what's going on, and then you miss a spot here or there, or they change things up. So it's a different situation. You're right there. Are you dying here, or what's going on?
I'm good.
No?
Yeah, Naomi and Bianca did wind up winning. Naomi got the win, hitting her split leg moonsault on Candice LeRae and retaining the WWE Tag Team title. So Naomi was replacing Jade Cargill in this match with Bianca. Bianca held both tag team belts. I don't know if you noticed on the introductions, she was holding both belts. Naomi didn't hold anything. But then Naomi defending the belts, really winning the match for Bianca. So I guess Naomi now officially one half of the tag team champions. And I guess Jade Cargill's really injured because she's been gone for a while.
Well, it was speculated about that, but Some people say, oh, it's part of a storyline. I mean, whatever. I mean, she's going to be out for a while. It's part of the thing. So we'll see what happens when or if she comes back anytime soon. We'll see how this all progresses. But I think at this point, they're just going forward. This is Bianca and Naoma as tag champs. So we'll see what happens with this. I expect, again, there's going to be some sort of heel turn. But when she comes back, that's going to depend on a lot of that too, I think. I mean, who can beat them as tag team champions right now? There's not exactly a lot of tough tag teams. I feel Jade coming back is going to be at the end of this reign, I think.
Well, how does that even work with Jade coming back?
Well, then we're going to reveal who actually attacked her. And I think it's Naoma. I'm 100% convinced on that.
Does then Naoma have a tag team partner? Is it Bayley?
Wait and see. We'll see how it all comes together. I mean, a lot's going to depend, too, on when she can actually come back, too, right? So this might take, almost a whole year, possibly, if it's a very serious injury, right?
It's unknown, though. What's the deal with her, right? We still don't know? There's no word.
But I believe the rumor was, 3 months? So you would think back before Mania.
Okay. Oh, she's all right. Jade Cargill. It's weird. All right, Johnny. AEW this week. I want to talk about the Continental Classic, which is heating up, and I'm enjoying it. I like this tournament. Talked about it a bit last week. We'll give you some updated standings, including a win that just happened. Brody King just defeated Commander on Rampage, picking up more points. There is still 0 points in the tournament. Brody King picking up his second win to improve to 6 points total.
6 points.
Yeah.
The win's 6. Yep.
I will give you the brackets here in a second, John. But we saw a Continental Classic match this week that was phenomenal. Darby
Match
Allin.
of the month, I guess.
What?
Match of the month?
Match of the month. I mean, honestly, I think it was in contention for match of the year.
I mean, TV match of the year? Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of strong candidates.
Yes. But I would put this one in the discussion.
Wow. It was pretty good.
It was incredible. I mean, Darby's coffin drop that he missed and hit the apron with. I mean, how is his back in one piece? How does he do this stuff? Do you have any idea, John? You wrestle. You take bumps. When you see Darby do this stuff, it's unusual. He doesn't bump the way other people do. He bumps in ways where you go, how is he still walk? Do you have any idea what's going on with this guy? Is he some sort of freak? Some sort of freak in nature? Physical specimen? I don't know what's going on, but he is incredible. And it's not just the bumps, too. I mean, the wrestling, the fluidity, the grappling ability. He's a very skilled wrestler. Storytelling ability, like everything. He's so good. He's got the character down. Such a fan of this guy. He's incredible. And, of course, Will Ospreay. Can him. But I want to talk about Darby for a second, John. Because how does he do this? What's going on?
Well, how did Mick Foley do it? How did Spike Dudley do it? These guys were bump machines. And they did some insane maneuver in their careers by doing it, but they pulled off some amazing bumps. And Darby's just one of those guys, too, that can do it. But like you said, too, like there's a lot more to him than just the bumps. And I thought that, to me, was really what made this match special, was just them, their styles mixing with each other. The whole back and forth, how Darby was able to keep up with Will on pretty much all like his maneuvers as well. But that to me was very impressive. And to me, this felt like it was only like the start of what you could possibly see if they feuded actually. So I know you say match of the year, but it's like I feel like this was only like a beginner match for them almost. I mean, it was that good, but it could be even better, I think.
I agree. I think this is the first time that they ever wrestled, and it was unbelievable. And I think they're just scratching the surface. They're both so good. They are two of my favorite wrestlers. They're two of the best today. I would put them in the top 5 in the entire business right now. Both guys.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Without question.
Although, it's tough, John. Who's top 5 in the business right now? Go.
I think, no matter what you think, Cody has to be in there. I mean, Cody's probably WWE Wrestler of the Year, I think.
I agree. He doesn't have Match of the Year in WWE, but I think he's Wrestler of the Year in WWE.
Agreed.
What's your Match of the Year in WWE?
Well, it's the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, okay. Okay, me too. Yep. Cool.
Yeah, definitely him. Kevin's coming on strong here. Just overall, the year not so great for him, but he's coming on strong.
Yeah.
At the end, like I think he's always in discussion of like one of the best. Just not had the best year overall. I mean, I think last year, I think we both had MJF as like the AEW wrestler of the year, and again, great wrestler, one of the best. But this year, definitely not his year whatsoever. So I don't think he's in there, sadly.
I think you're misunderstanding the question. John, I think how I see it is, who are the guys that are must-see right now? When they're on TV, you have to watch what they're doing. I would say the 5 guys that you must watch today in professional wrestling are Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, MJF, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. I think those 5 guys are the most important, impactful guys in the wrestling business today. Cody's on TV. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Every time Roman is on TV, he's doing something that matters. Every time Punk is on TV, something is advancing. He's doing something that matters. MJF is a big deal. Each and every time, he's continuously evolving, improving, and just killing it every step of the way. Darby Allin, same thing. Will Ospreay, same thing. The 3 young talents in the wrestling business that have the most potential, that are right now at the top of their game and just crushing it. Must see. CM Punk, I mean, come on. Must see. Those are my top 5, John. Those right now. If you ask me who are the 5 guys I have to watch if I want to watch 5 guys in wrestling right now, Roman, Punk, Darby, Ospreay, MJF.
I mean, it's pretty good. I won't take that away from you. I just feel Cody's been more impactful though. Again, this hurts by Roman not being around so much this year, and when he has been around,
that's what I'm saying though. Roman is more.
Right.
Cody is only impactful off of Roman. He finished the story. He took the belt. All his value is off of Roman. It's Roman that's interesting. It's not Cody. Cody does stuff where it's like, whatever.
If anything, the Kevin thing is kind of showing that he's more than just Roman. And I think with him and The Rock, that's still the most intriguing thing going into WrestleMania.
Cody and The Rock?
Oh, yeah.
I don't need
that. Was the whole thing that was left that was not answered. So, and if you think about it, too, last year's WrestleMania, Cody won the title, but he lost to The Rock. So he's got to get that win back.
I don't know. I'd like to see Kevin take the belt from Cody at the Rumble. Shake it up.
I think him getting the Winged Eagle title, that's pretty much his prize for this. That's it.
Not much of a prize, a fake belt to walk around with. Cool. Will Ospreay hit a Styles Clash off the ring apron to the floor?
Yeah, that was scary. I'd worried about that because Darby's small. That's a lot of impact to take. He took it.
He did and he didn't, though. He didn't, Will landed on his feet and then kind of fell.
Sure.
Right?
You're still
did it very safely. He didn't go, a Styles Clash is standing and then, boom, like a face-first bump. He didn't do standing off the apron, face-first bump, because that would have been really nuts. Maybe they would have pulled it off, but maybe they would have killed Darby. So what he did was he just kind of jumped off the apron, landed on his feet, and then kind of did a face first, right? So it was a little safer. Almost busted his knee doing it, too. It was a little dangerous.
I remember this happened in Quebec many years ago. AJ Styles did that to Kevin, Owens, Steen, whatever. They did that, and it was like, wow. And you can imagine the size for them as well. And then you see this, it's like, whew. It's a tough move to take. It's not easy. But he did it, and he was able to. He survived the whole 10 count thing, and that was a nice little falsity right there too, because Darby's done the whole thing where he survives the whole 10 count, but then gets in the ring, bam, loses. Didn't happen this time.
Comes in, survives the 10 count. Ospreay sets him up. Darby reverses, hits a scorpion death drop, the stinger move, hits a coffin drop. Hits a second coffin drop. 1, 2, 3. Darby beats Will Ospreay. Incredible. Huge win for Darby. Huge. I don't think it really hurts Will Ospreay.
If you look at the whole structure now of the Gold League, that makes everything so wide open now on who could win this.
Yes, indeed, John. It does. As we look at the points right now in the Gold League, we have Darby Allin, Claudio Castagnoli, Will Ospreay, Rick O'Shea, and Brody King all tied with 6 points. Commander still with 0 points. So the win for Brody King tonight, huge over Commander because it keeps him tied going into his final match. Not everybody going into their final match. Brody King has 1 match left, so he only has the possibility of having 9 total points. Pardon me. Ricochet has 2 more matches left, so he could, in theory, John, get 12 total points. Same for Ospreay, same for Claudio, same for Darby. So Brody King kind of in a tough spot, probably won't win, because the most he can get now is still 9 points because he's wrestled 4 out of his 5 matches. The other guys have not. And Commander, of course, is totally out of it. He's got no shot, right? At this point, Commander is done. He's got 0 wins. He's got 4 losses. Even with 3 points, he wouldn't be able to come close to being in contention for a spot. He's out.
But he could help with a bit of an upset here because his next match is big because he's got to wrestle, I think, Claudio, right? At some point, he's got to wrestle Claudio.
Claudio's next.
For him. I don't know if that's Claudio's next match because Claudio also has to wrestle Darby Allin, right?
Yeah. I think that's on Dynamite. Or
Brody's...
Collision, possibly? It might be Collision tomorrow. Darby Claudio.
I know it's Ospreay Ricochet tomorrow. That's gigantic. Tomorrow on Collision.
Yes.
Because that could easily decide this whole Gold League, that match right there.
Big match. Ospreay still has to wrestle Ricochet and Brody King. Ricochet still has to wrestle Darby, which will be cool, and Ospreay. Ricochet's got some fun matches coming up. Claudio against Darby and Commander. Darby's matches against Claudio and Ricochet. Those are good. Every match for Darby is great.
I definitely have to take it back. I mean, there's only one jobber in the whole Gold League, so Gold League is very tight. I have to take back on how they made it too obvious. Gold League is not obvious. Blue League, I feel, is a bit different. I think you could tell. I mean, Kyle Fletcher's going to make it, I think.
Well, hang on. Who's your pick to win this thing, John? We're pretty close to it. 2 people win, right? The top 2 wrestle each other to determine who wins the league?
No, there's going to be just a winner and a runner-up. So the top winner in points and who's ever number 2 in points will advance to the pay-per-view.
And wrestle each other.
They won't wrestle each other. Like, the winner of Gold League faces the runner-up of Blue League. Oh. So the runner-up for Gold League will face the winner of Blue League.
Right. Okay, so who's going to win Gold League and who's going to be the runner-up? At this point, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, it could be anybody.
I mean, I would think, just judging on who do you want on pay-per-view, I think Ospreay has to be one of them, right? The next one, I mean, it could be any of them, to be honest. Like, it's that close. It's really tight.
What about Darby, though?
I mean, you say, what about Darby? What about Ricochet? Even Claudio, because Claudio's involved and stuff. And Brody, like, he was in there last year, so maybe they want to put him over. He has a big match because his last match is against Ospreay. I don't see him beating Ospreay. I don't think Brody's going to make it.
I don't think Brody beats Ospreay.
Yeah.
I think Ricochet is going to beat Ospreay.
It could happen.
I think he does. I think Ricochet beats Ospreay, then gets 9 points, and maybe also beats Darby and gets 12 points and wins the whole thing. But what the hell's going on with Ricochet? Like, he's trying to be cool with Bobby Lashley and MVP now. Like, at first they're recruiting him, and then Ricochet is, like, trying to be cool with them, and then they're making fun of him and saying, like, oh, nobody likes an ass kisser, Ricochet. And it's like, what? The hell's going on with those guys now? Why are they doing that? What the hell was that? At first you're recruiting him, then he's like down with the program, and then you reject him immediately? Like, what is this group? What has happened? I was like, oh, cool, Ricochet's gonna be with them. That works. I like heel Ricochet. And then MVP's like, you suck, actually. It's like, what?
Well, my thinking here is that they're starting to realize that the Hurt Business, they're getting cheered a lot, right? So I think they're trying to push them more towards like the face side, I think. And Ricochet clearly is more of a heel now, which I think works now. Like, I'm actually, this has potential here. Like, he can be very annoying. I think that can work actually in his favor. So I think him as a heel works, but because I think the Hurt Business are going to be more baby faces, that's why they had to make that distinction that he's not going to fit in this.
Well, I think whatever happens, Ricochet is going to win the thing, and Darby is going to be the runner-up. and Ospreay is going to be on the outside looking in of the Gold League. How about that, John, for a prediction? What do you think?
I'm going to say Ospreay, and I think that's what I had. I had Ospreay and Ricochet before, right? I don't think I'm going to change it. I mean, Darby could surprise me, though. I mean, I even Claudio could, but I'm going to say Ospreay and Ricochet because that's what I had from the beginning, so I'll stick with it.
Okay, and let's see. Do we have the Blue League? We do have the Blue League. Kazuchika Okada picked up a win over who? Mark Briscoe, the Beast Mortos. Who did he beat recently? Was it Briscoe?
Oh, he beat Mortos on Collision.
Yes. Mark Briscoe picked up a huge win over Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, who's been defeating everybody, suffered his first loss. Fletcher leading the group still with 9 points. He beat the Beast Mortos. He beat Shelton Benjamin. He beat Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, but then lost to Mark Briscoe. Briscoe, who had lost twice already to Shelton and Okada, beat Daniel Garcia, and now also beats Kyle Fletcher, the first guy to beat Fletcher. And now Fletcher going into his final match against Daniel Garcia. Garcia with just 4 points. With a win, he'd have 7 points, which would put him in second place. Not enough to come close to Fletcher. Mark Briscoe with a win over the Beast Mortos could tie Fletcher. In theory, if Fletcher loses to Garcia, Mark Briscoe with a win over Mortos, which he could get because Mortos has not won at all.
Right.
I kind of figure Mortos might get the win over Mark Briscoe because they're going to throw him a bone. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I really don't know. I don't know. Like, I think this one, it seems like it's in the bag, but it could still go either way. There's a couple matches to go here. Shelton's got 2 matches. Shelton's got 6 points. He could still get 12 points and win this whole thing. With a win over Daniel Garcia and Kazuchika Okada, Shelton could win. But is Shelton going to beat Okada? Okada's got 1 match left. It's against Shelton. If he wins, he's got 10 points. It puts him in a good spot to possibly win the whole thing, or at least come in second. I think it's between Okada and Shelton, right? Shelton's got an opportunity. Okada's got an opportunity. Fletcher's got an opportunity. Garcia is, technically, mathematically not out of it, but he'd have to beat Shelton and Fletcher.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No, he's already lost to Mark Briscoe. His only win is over the Beast Mortos. He did have a draw with Okada, though, but I feel like that's going to be his big win for the tournament. Go into a time limit draw with the great Okada.
Well, I could see him maybe upset Shelton. That could happen, too. Impossible. What's the next? I think that's on Collision, actually, tomorrow, is Okada and Benjamin, right?
Ooh,
that's gigantic.
That would be Okada's final match, so we would know where Okada sits in the points.
Okada's really got to win that match. Like that match pretty much makes or breaks this, right? Because if Okada loses, he's out, pretty much.
If Shelton loses, he's also out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
If Okada wins, he's in a good spot with 10 points. If Okada wins, he either is winning the group or is runner-up.
Yeah.
Because then Shelton would have 1 match left to get 9 points, which wouldn't be enough.
Right.
Briscoe, 9 points wouldn't be enough. Daniel Garcia, technically, 10 points could tie Okada if he beats Fletcher and Shelton.
Well, 9 points could be enough for Briscoe as long as Fletcher loses his last match.
Right, because Briscoe beat Fletcher in a tiebreak. Right?
Right.
Okay. So Briscoe could technically win if he beats Beast Mortos and Fletcher loses to Daniel Garcia. Okada with a win over Shelton could win. Big match. Okada-Shelton is huge. Because if Okada wins, he's advancing probably, I would say no matter what, right? If Okada wins, he's advancing no matter what. Mathematically, for sure. Right?
Yeah.
Either in first or second place, depending on if Fletcher beats Garcia or not.
Man, imagine if they draw tomorrow. Like, they'll throw everything off.
If Okada and Shelton draw tomorrow, Okada would finish with 8 points. Shelton would have 7 points and would need a win to advance against Daniel Garcia. And Fletcher would automatically advance either in first or second. Oh, no, not necessarily, because there's still the Mark Briscoe issue, right? Because if Shelton finishes with 10 points and Mark Briscoe, and say Fletcher loses to Garcia, finishes with 9, and Briscoe finishes with 9. Briscoe and Shelton advance.
Yeah, I feel that draw is highly likely now because that really throws everything off.
The draw would make things real sketchy. And Okada would just have to sit and wait and see what's going on, you know? It's kind of fun. I like it. I love the math involved. I love how it all works out and the possibilities. It's fun. It's been well booked. It's been good. I got to give AEW credit where it's due, man. This has been a very good tournament, very well-booked tournament, and a lot of fun to watch the evolution of it as the weeks have passed. So who's your pick here? I'm going to go with Fletcher and Okada still.
Yeah, that was my pick. I hope it's Benjamin. I feel like it's a long shot with that. But yeah, I think still Okada and Fletcher.
I think Fletcher will get 12 points and win the thing. He'll beat Daniel Garcia, and Okada will beat Shelton and get his 10 points and finish in second. Or I think, Fletcher and Garcia may wrestle to a time limit draw, and Fletcher and Okada may both finish with 10 and just both win.
It's going to be an interesting way it all ends up, I guess. I mean, it's all have to end by next week, right?
If they both win, do they add a third person to make it a triple threat tiebreaker match?
That's what they'd have to do, yeah.
Would they? Why not?
That's what they did last. Because last year they did the tiebreaker with Moxley, Swerve, and I think it was Jay White. Remember they did a tiebreaker to see who would face Eddie Kingston? They did that last year. They've done tiebreakers before in the past.
But they were all tied with points, right?
Yeah,
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if Okada and Fletcher both finish with 10, would they add somebody with 9 points to be like, oh, well, we need to figure out who the real runner-up is? Or would it just be like, well, doesn't matter? I guess, well, Okada would be the runner-up because he lost to Fletcher.
I guess that's the way it would. That would be my guess, yeah. That's where they break that.
It doesn't really matter, John, but it is fun, man. I enjoy this part of it.
It's better than just a regular tournament, actually. I actually like that it's kind of different. It's one of the better things that they got from New Japan that's worked well, I think.
Yeah. It's their G1, and it has worked very well. I enjoy it. Did you notice there was no ramp on Dynamite this week?
I noticed, yeah. Well, it was a smaller arena. Like, this is the start of them doing smaller places. I thought it was a good little setup the way it was like that.
Yeah, it's just weird because they're instantly in the ring.
Yeah, that is true. It's no longer have to worry about that. And I'm not mistaken, too, they had the table not at ringside, too. It was up on the right next to the entranceway, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't even see where the announce table was.
I think it was on the side, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yeah, the way it used to be.
Yeah. It was not bad. I didn't hate it. They could do a wide shot because they had the whole building filled. Maybe a couple thousand people, 2,000-3,000. It didn't look big.
I think they had 3. That was about it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was max capacity would be like 4 or 5. So, yeah.
It looks small on TV.
I think that's fine. That's what they get. That's the way it should be. I think it's a better atmosphere that way. You have a smaller, more intimate kind of setting. That works. I mean, a couple of thousand is still pretty decent.
Yeah, it's just you're used to seeing the ramp when you watch AEW, and then when there's no ramp, you're like, oh yeah, the building's tiny. What happened? It's just noticeable, It's a little sad. They're doing less business. It's kind of sad. I wish they would do better business. I wish they would make more money and sell more tickets.
Well, I think the idea now is sell the big arenas for the pay-per-views. That's a better idea because that's what they kind of do. They usually sell more so for that. So, yeah, just do that. Weekly TV, it's kind of tough, especially if they're doing their whole loops all the time. They seem to do the whole East Coast, West Coast. We'll go to Florida for a little bit, and then do those little trips again.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll go to Canada again, possibly. For Montreal, fingers crossed, at some point would be nice. Wait and see. It can happen this year.
I mean, I would say unlikely. No?
I wouldn't say it's impossible. Again, like Last Bell, I think it could work. I think it'd be amazing if Last Bell.
I agree, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Main event of Dynamite this week was kind of fun. Hangman, Jay White, and Orange Cassidy against Jon Moxley, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta. But there was just a lot of disagreements between Hangman, White, and Orange, which you would expect because those 3 guys are going to wrestle Jon Moxley in a fatal 4-way at the pay-per-view next week AEW World's End. Johnny, next Friday night, we're going to be previewing AEW World's End. And then next Saturday night, the 28th, right after World's End, we'll be doing the recap show, which will be fun.
Well, it's shaping up pretty decently, World's End. I'm actually somewhat looking forward to this pay-per-view. Like, besides the main event for Dynamite, I actually thought the show was pretty good. Like, I know you seem to like the main event. I actually felt when they got to the main event, it's like, okay, I've had my fill. I thought you had a lot of excitement on the show already. Like, you had a lot of pretty good matches. And once you got to the main event, it felt like you've kind of seen everything at this point. I mean, I don't know about you. You can't top Darby Allin, Will Ospreay. Like, no matter what they could have done.
No. Yeah, I thought Mercedes Moné and Anna Jay had a decent match. I really enjoyed Tony Storm's promo. I'm loving the new Tony Storm gimmick. I think it's fantastic. There's a lot of good stuff on Dynamite. There's some stuff that's not as good, but Dynamite this week I thought was really good, especially considering they had Darby and Ospreay just deliver such a kick-ass performance. The Continental Classic, we're getting kind of close to the end. Shelton and the Beast Mortos wasn't bad. It was all right.
I liked it.
But it's just,
it was a very good match.
When you're introduced as, and Shelton Benjamin's opponent, the Beast Mortos, you're like, what? Do you notice that? They introduced him as Shelton Benjamin's opponent. I was like, this is a tournament match. Like, make it less obvious, dude.
Well, I think that's them trying to cut for time. Not, have Shelton come out again, right? So, I get it. It's fine. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right, because Shelton was already in the ring. So they're like, and Shelton's opponent. But it's like, how about the following contest scheduled for one fall, already in the ring, Shelton Benjamin. And his opponent from Mexico, whatever, Beast Mortos. How about that?
I don't disagree. That's what should have happened instead of that. And you're right, kind of makes it obvious that Shelton's going to win. But, I mean, it's fine. I still enjoyed the match. I thought it was all right. I have to make a correction, though. Like, I thought they'd have Mark Briscoe team up with FTR. Kind of seems obvious now it's going to be FTR with Edge, because Edge is probably going to make his comeback, because FTR said they're not cleared to wrestle until January 1st. I think that's the next big AEW Dynamite, the Fight for the Fallen, right? So Edge is probably going to come back, the team with FTR against the Death Riders. That's probably going to be the match.
MJF, what did he call Adam Cole? A small yellow child?
Quite a good promo. I was laughing.
Oh my God, he obliterated Adam Cole. Talking about
Skinny
how small, skinny, yellow, with that weird fake tan he uses where he's always coming out yellow and he's all skinny and weird. I mean, MJF just buried this guy. It was great. What a promo from MJF. He's the best. Saying all the things about Adam Cole that I've been saying on this show. Oh, but meaner.
But then it was weird because then Adam Cole came on the screen and said that, like, his buddies are going to be around ringside or something for the match.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Well, and you're the baby face. It's like, what? You're going to have all the backup? Like, I didn't get that. I'm pretty sure the Undisputed Kingdom's going to turn on Adam Cole. It feels like it's too much in his favor.
Yeah, it didn't feel right. I don't understand why he would have goons around the ring as the babyface against this evil heel who's calling him a small yellow child. It's pretty good. Like one of the Simpsons. One of the cool Simpsons, though.
He was skinnier than the Simpsons, though. Like, that photo.
Yeah. It was very funny. That promo was...
Well, MJF, like, he knows what other people are saying about Adam Cole. So he's going to use the material that he has to work with, and he'll blast you with it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Very good. And we finally saw a Kenny Omega video package telling us that he is coming back to AEW soon. So that's good news, right? I mean, we know he's wrestling in New Japan, so he better be coming back to AEW soon.
And you can add Swerve to the people that don't like Ricochet like you. I made fun of him for being bald and all that, so...
I don't make fun of him for being bald. What are you talking about? I like Ricochet.
Well, this is going back to that tweet where you kind of made fun of him, saying he was a loser and all that. I think you said he was bald or something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's out there. You can look it up.
You look it up. All right, John. You got anything to promote, or can we just say goodnight?
Well, you didn't watch Red One yet, right? So
of course I didn't watch Red One. What the hell is that? That's The Rock's Christmas movie? You think I'm going to watch that, John? You think I have time to watch that? I watched Fetty 2. Fetty 2 came out. I watched that. Tremendous. Fetty Bauman. That guy. What a badass. I watched Ferry too. New Ferry movie came out on Netflix. Ferry.
That'll be fun too.
The camping.
I'll be watching
the Ferry.
I'll be watching Netflix again. So
you ever see Ferry? Ferry Bauman?
Never seen it.
Oh, Ferry! That guy, he's the man. What a good movie that was. Ferry, and then Ferry 2. Ferry. It's on Netflix. He's Dutch. It's in Dutch. You got to read the subtitles. It's really good. Dutch gangster. Sells ecstasy pills. Ecstasy pills. You know? So good.
Angelo's bringing up a good point. Apparently, Kenny might show up at World's End, apparently.
Woo! That makes sense. I hope he does. What does he do? Attack John Moxley?
Well, I guess that's the thing, right? Because that's how Moxley made his big debut, right? Didn't he attack Kenny? Wasn't that his thing?
Or does he attack Okada for revenge?
I mean, that depends if Okada's going to win. I don't think Okada's going to win. I don't know about you.
I think he is.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think Okada's winning the whole thing because he's Okada, the best tournament wrestler of all time.
I mean, I like him against Ospreay in the finals. That's good. I don't know if he's going to beat Ospreay, though. But we'll see.
Do you remember they did this promo about Okada where he talked about winning the G1 multiple times and how he's the best tournament wrestler ever and he's going to win the Continental Classic? They didn't do a promo like that for anybody else.
Well, this is why I have him going to the finals. I just don't have him winning the finals because it's Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's got to win all the titles. So this is his chance to win the Continental Classic.
Haven't you been paying attention? Will Ospreay lost to Kyle Fletcher. Will Ospreay lost to Darby Allin. Will Ospreay lost another pay-per-view match, I think. Didn't he lose to, what's his name?
He lost to Swerve.
He lost to Swerve. He lost to Fletcher. He didn't lose to, what's his name too? The Japanese guy, what's his name?
Konosuke. Yeah, he lost to Konosuke. Yeah, the three-way with Ricochet. Yeah. He lost that.
There you go. He's losing these days. I'm telling you, Okada is winning the Classic. It's Okada time.
Well, we'll see how it all shapes up because we aren't even there yet. We'll find out next week, right, how it's all... We might not even get there, right? You're saying Ospreay's not even making the pay-per-view, so we'll find out.
I think, if he does, he'll wrestle Fletcher. Fletcher will beat him again, and then Fletcher will wrestle Okada in the finals, and Okada will beat him.
No, come on. You can't even believe that. You know that's not going to happen.
Why not?
You think that's compelling to have Fletcher face Okada? Like, come on. That's not compelling.
You got to give Okada his win back.
Maybe so, but, on pay-per-view, you have Ospreay... Or you have Fletcher. I mean, come on, you're going to go with Ospreay. Especially because Ospreay lost the last time. Come on. You know better than that.
Well, you're going to get Ospreay on pay-per-view, aren't you? Because you do the semifinals and the finals in the same night.
We're going to find out next week. I mean, we could debate this because who knows? Maybe our guys won't even make it, right? It's so close.
Well, I mean, say Ospreay wins and then faces, say, runner-up Okada, and then Okada wins. Good enough. And then Okada faces, say, Fletcher in the finals. Fletcher faces runner-up. I don't know.
Maybe. It could happen the way... We'll find out how it all shakes out in the end.
Yeah. But didn't I say Richard O'Shea? No, Richard O'Shea, I think, was winning the gold league.
You had him winning the gold, and you had Darby Allin as the runner-up.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe Ospreay. Ospreay does make more sense. Maybe Darby's win was the win over Ospreay, I'm thinking. I'm changing my pick. I'm going with Ricochet winning the whole thing and Ospreay in the co-main. Co-win spot. All right? Screw it. Whatever. We'll change again next week because that's how I do things around here.
Of course. Why not?
All right. Thank you, everybody. We love you. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah because we will not see you until then, right?
We'll have more grievances. Don't worry. There's always more grievances every week.
Johnny always has grievances.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can talk about the snow removal. It hasn't happened yet, but I'll definitely complain about it next week probably.
There's been no snow.
It's coming. So
what are you bitching about snow removal for? I mean, I had snow removal on my street, and I said, really? Is this necessary?
It's cold now.
Yeah, but there's no snow.
It's coming, man. It's coming. It's going to happen.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I hope you all have a great time. Johnny and I will be back next week. Same time, same channel. Ringside Report Network. Thank you to everybody for supporting. We love you.
Oh, but that's a huge thing, by the way. It's going to be Hanukkah for you, next episode.
Yes, we will be in full Hanukkah next week. Hanukkah begins Christmas night, which is rare that it's kind of... Last year was way early, I think. It was early December. This year, it's starts Christmas night. Starts Wednesday night. First night is Wednesday. We'll light the candles on Wednesday. We're excited, John. We're ready. I got the Hanukkah snow globe over here. You see this? Beautiful. Look at that thing.
I see it when you lift it. There's a little screen in the way, so I can't see it on the table. But when you lift it, I see it. There you go. Nice.
Snow globe. It's snowing. Look at that.
We're getting a white Christmas. It's coming. Don't worry.
All right. Well, happy Hanukkah to all my friends, and Merry Christmas to all my friends. We love you, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Lorne. Thank you, Harold, my man, Super Chat Leader of the Night. Good man, supporting the channel. Jason Pete, supporting the channel way out in Mexico. Feliz Navidad, Jason. Leor, out in New Brunswick. And everybody who watches and supports the Ringside Report Network throughout the year and throughout the years. We appreciate you. We love you. We are entering 2025, which will be our 19th year for the Ringside Report Network covering mixed martial arts and professional wrestling, which is crazy. 19th year, John.
Well, I've known you for 2 decades, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but the Ringside Report, I mean, we've known each other longer than Ringside Report has existed, but the fact that the Ringside Report has existed for 19 years, kind of nuts. I'm not even 40. Like, how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, what? It's good.
It's your legacy if you think about it.
Start a business young, brother. Start young. Yeah. It's good.
Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling and rolling and rolling.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Now I know you'll be loving this shit right here.
Yeah, I'd say the rest, but it gets a little bit more vulgar after that. But yeah.
Because if you don't care, then we don't care. All right. Limp Bizkit is
great.
By
the way, can we mention, like, so man, all the New York Yankee bashing that they did? Did you notice that too?
No.
Michael Cole, like, making fun of Damian Priest, like when he came out for Saturday Night's Main Event. Like, it's like boo-hoo or something. Like, that's Damian Priest because Juan Soto went to our Mets. Apparently Michael Cole's a Mets fan. Like, did you catch that?
Good for you, fucking Michael Cole. I'm happy with what the Yankees have done. The Yankees have made some really good moves. You're going to be hearing that a lot when Mr. Williams is on the mound. Evan Williams, new Yankees closer, who we just acquired from the Milwaukee Brewers. He's going to be crushing it. He's one of the best closers, if not the best closer in the game, and the Yankees secured him. Yankees also securing a great starting pitcher in Max Fried, and we just picked up Cody Bellinger. So I really like the moves that the Yankees have made so far in the offseason. I don't think they're done. Cashman says that they're not done, and I believe him. I trust in Brian Cashman. He's a Hall of Fame general manager. He knows what he's doing. He knows his business, and the Yankees are proof of that. I look forward to the season. I look forward to seeing what the Yankees do. And I am happy with the way that they have pivoted without Soto. I think Soto was a plan A, but I think that the plan B is, very good. And I'm excited to see what the team looks like. Like, I'm very excited. We're less than 100 days before opening day, so that's good. I love Yankees baseball. So, yeah, John. I'm not worried about the Mets or Michael Cole or anything he says. The Yankees went to the World Series. The Mets didn't. I mean, it's because they couldn't beat the Dodgers, and neither could the Yankees, but shut up, all right? Shut up, John. I know what you're going to say. Well, they actually beat the Dodgers more than the Yankees did. They actually got more games in their series. Shut up, John.
I was going to say that, too.
I know you were going to say that. I know you, John. We've known each other for over 20 years. I know what the hell you're going to tell me when you're razzing me. They actually got more wins, so maybe... Shut up, John. They're still the Mets.
Didn't Punk make fun of a guy wearing a New York jersey, too, like in his promo?
Punk can shut up.
Shooting on New York for something. WWE has like a hatred towards the Yankees or something. I don't know what it is. Or actually, it's not even that. It's more they like to pick on teams when something happens to them. So like if something bad happens to your team, they love to pick on it a lot.
Rude. You know who's a big Yankee fan who goes to a lot of games and sits in the bleachers in the outfield like a real fan, and he doesn't have to? Shane McMahon.
Oh, wow. Cool.
That's a real Yankee fan right there. Shane O'Mac goes with his son. I see him on Instagram all the time, going to Yankees games, sitting in the bleacher. It's like, what the heck? This guy, he's a McMahon. He's multi-millionaire. Sitting back there. He doesn't care. He's having fun. He's with the fans. They love it. Shane O'Mac. It's great. Shane McMahon, Damian Priest, they know what's up. They're big Yankee fans. So maybe it's because Shane's having meetings with AEW. All of a sudden, they're shitting on the Yankees. Huh?
Well, no, it's, if the Yankees are doing well, they praise the Yankees. But if they're not doing well, they'll have to obviously put them down as much as possible. That's what they do. You've seen this with many sports teams.
Well,
they love Kansas City now, the Chiefs, and then they'll put them down the second they lose.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't play that shit, John. I don't play that shit. Go Yankees. Yankees forever. Oh, man. I mean, I'm obviously worried about Aaron Judge in the playoffs still. I'm very concerned. It's something I think about often. You know? What the hell is this? Turn this off. All right, I'm going. That's it. Thanks, everybody. We love you. Good night.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.